Jazz age living, old fashioned sipping, pizzazz ain't missing, got the fat cats kissing.
All right, Sean. Thank you for episode 3 of the, we'll just call this one the Sunday Punch.
I like it.
Not Sunday Punch Sports, because we know we like to go on many different subjects here.
It's the sports podcast that is very quickly derailed.
Very quickly derailed. I wanted to start this one off by, first of all, thanking you for the last one. Because I don't think, I mean, once you bought the mic, you know, I was getting into my usual mode of, yeah, I'll get it eventually. Mm-hmm. I'll do it eventually. Mm-hmm. You know, lazy me. But once you pulled the trigger on the mic, I was like, I got to get a mic. And so you had it all set up, got here. You had the video set up. It was amazing. Loved it.
Had
Wonderful.
A great time.
It was like, I was telling, I was over at Ian's. It was like therapy, dude.
It feels good being able to just take your insanity and really apply it to the rest of the world and just see how it maps on.
Just
for everybody.
It's crazy, especially during the pandemic. Just like, dude, it was like just talking. I mean, we talk anyway, just like during a game or whatever, but It's like nonsense. This like forces you to talk, you know, and like think and everything else. And dude, it was like therapy. Therapy.
Only thing we're missing is a therapist. Here it's like the blind leading the blind. Then we just get into more trouble.
Dude, do you know how many ex-girlfriends I've had that literally like at different tones? They say it in different tones, but they have told me I need a therapist. It's different. It's just different tones. Like there's like screaming, like you need a therapist.
You need help.
But then like the ones that like still care about you, but are leaving. They're out the door. They say, you should really consider a therapist. You should consider a therapist.
What I like about that girl right there is because she knows at that point it's not for her. It's for the next girl. She's like, the next person just needs a better Adam.
The next victim.
That I'm leaving. The next soul to be snatched.
Oh man, it was but it was good. It was, you know, even the second one, just talking to myself in my dark room, you know, I turned off the lights because I had the new lights set up and everything, and you know what happened, you know, the Bears suck. So I just sat there in the dark, just talking into a microphone, and even that was good therapy.
The for those who don't know and are just tuning in recently, which is everyone because it's episode 3, Adam and I are working between 2 different condos here in downtown Chicago, trying to get our lighting right, our setting right. And right now we're coming to you live from the Gold Coast neighborhood, but where Adam's condo is in a different neighborhood, and certainly there are different challenges with each of our studios, if you will. Lighting here is okay. What I really want to see, though, Adam, is how tan we get. Do we have to start wearing SPF if we're going to be in your place with those lights?
Well, you know, I don't tan, I burn. I'm practically see-through. When I was in Brazil, I went to Brazil, for those who don't know. There's only like 20 people that I've told a million times this to, but I'm going to say it again for them. When I was in Brazil,
the country?
Yeah. Heard of it? Ever heard of it? We had a party with a bunch of people, and like they could not get over how white I was.
Really?
They're like, "Wow, you are so white." They're like, no, you need sunscreen. Here, take mine.
I'd rather get darker than watch you burn into a crisp.
But but anyway, I just wanted to start it off with a thank you. It was good therapy.
Thank you.
I also wanted to, so I listened to it back.
Mm-hmm. Reflections?
I wanted to do a little bit of a critique, a little bit of a reflection. Do you want to go first, or should I?
I'm gathering my thoughts. If you're ready, go ahead and start spitting some stuff out.
Okay. So I listened to it back. My critique, my reflection. I hate my own voice. Mm. My voice, comparatively to yours, is terrible. Not only do I look like Haley Joel Osment, but I sound like Haley Joel Osment from Sixth Sense. I see dead people everywhere. But yeah, my voice is not. I was talking to JoJo afterwards. Mm. JoJo is a girl I'm talking to currently, and she was just like, you were all right, but Sean's voice is so good. And then even my mom, she called me up. She was like, my own mother was like, yeah. It was good. I mean, Sean. Oh, Sean. Well, I was, well, Sean's your new son then, Mom.
Adopt me, please.
Take him.
I really have to contribute, and I think this is a very small contribution because I think we're overblowing the sound of my voice. Really, I'm of the Andy Bernard school of thought from The Office. For those of you who know the episode, they're doing some Southern accents in the episode of The Office, and Andy Bernard's talking about just letting molasses spill out of your mouth. And while we're not applying the Southern accent to this, that's certainly the
No, you see that? That's
tone.
more of the Florida panhandle, whereas you want the savannah or the molasses spilling out your mouth.
So that's what we'll try to keep going as we inflect, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God! Yeah,
I'll give myself a critique.
You got a
here.
reflection, dude?
I do. So I think all things considered, I wasn't really sure how long to spend on topics, how long to unpack things. I think we were so excited that there was just all this drive to feel like we had to rifle through things. But to your point, therapy takes time, and sometimes therapy takes time, and sometimes we have to unpack something in its entirety before we try to move on. Otherwise, we're just going helter skelter back and forth. So I think a lot of times I was rolling us forward too fast or bouncing around, kind of having the jitters, being excited. But hey, that's part of the growing pains.
Yeah,
that's why we're here.
I was actually like super nervous. I didn't think I would be, but once you get on the mic itself, like I could feel I was getting the sweats. I'm a sweaty human being.
It's a different feeling even now.
Yeah, I'm getting more comfortable.
That's
even
exciting.
The second one. Well, I mean, when I'm literally by myself, I shouldn't be nervous. Other than the darkness. The darkness that surrounds the mic.
Speaking of, we don't get into this at this podcast, but you've been expressing a lot of your thoughts about the quarantine, COVID, the pandemic, really everything through a couple interesting Instagram posts, including some of your own artwork on canvas, which I would at some point love to unpack those abstract pieces.
Oh, it's getting real dark, Sean. I've got bizarre artwork all over my place. I've literally started just talking to myself. I mean, this is why I started a podcast, so I wouldn't go completely insane. But yeah, I mean, the pandemic. This is a question I had on COVID. Let's bring it up again. Everyone's talking about COVID. Let's bring it up again.
Give it to me.
We've only been talking about it for 9 months. Let's keep talking about it. What happens when you've... I was looking at all the symptoms of COVID. Mm-hmm. Now, what happens when you've had all of the... Like, it was like, oh, headache, fatigue, thinking about death. What happens when I've had all of those symptoms for 3 straight years? Now, have I had COVID for 3 years? I was like, oh, sweet. I've had COVID for 3 years.
I'm willing to bet that you picked that up in Brazil circa 2018, and you've just been incubating the whole time.
Zero, welcome.
Incubating the whole time. They
wow,
thought it came
wouldn't
from
that
China.
be crazy?
Wouldn't that be wild?
They finally trace it back in like
this
a
man
year.
an antibody test right now.
Oh man! Well, when I was in Brazil, I got super sick. I remember I told you that.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You
last
did.
day,
I forgot
got
about that.
super sick in Brazil. It was the night before we went out to dinner, and I was feeling myself. I was like, I'll eat anything. So like they brought me out, a steak. They had appetizers. They had like random drinks that had like fruit seeds in it and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'll throw anything down my gullet.
Well, you were the foreign white man. They're like, what do we feed this guy? Just bring out everything they can find.
And then the next day, I was like, oh man, it was brutal. I felt like I was going to die. And they, but I still, the intelligent move would be to go to the Christ the Redeemer statue at that point in time when you feel like you're on the brink of death.
Which is certainly...
Because you can't escape that place.
And how much did you have to hike to get to that point?
Well, luckily, no. I only went because I was like, oh, I jump in a van. I go to the Christ the Redeemer statue. It's all good. Purify. But I get up there and... I was like, well, this is a mistake. For sure, this was a mistake.
I'm at altitude.
I'm realizing it was a mistake now. And I looked at, I went with Ryan and Alini, and I was like, I got to get out of here. Like, I'm seriously going to die. I mean, although it would have been in front of Christ, the Redeemer.
You probably would have been redeemed and ascended right then and there. I mean, really, if you're going to go out in a place like there versus at your hotel room, like curled up in a blanket, I don't think so.
I was thinking the whole time, I'm like, I'm only, at that point in time, I was like, I'm only 29. I die at 33. Everyone knows this.
I have a presidential term to go and I am going to use it.
I die at 33, Sean. I've told you this many times. That's when Jesus died.
Coincidentally, the age Jesus passed away. And by passed away, I mean was murdered on the cross.
Passed away. Oh, wait, what happened to Jesus? He passed away.
Isn't that why they
My
call
mom's going to hate this
Passover?
part. And you even start joking about Jesus. As Jim Gaffigan would say, my mom's a Shiite Catholic.
Where's the holy water? Let me bathe in it.
What was the... Oh, yeah. I'm not saying I'm Jesus, Sean. I'm just telling you he died at 33, and I'm also going to die at the exact same age. You do the math after that.
After having visited Christ the Redeemer.
I like telling people that because just in case I do die at 33, you know, like 1% of your mind will be like, wait, was he Jesus?
But could he have been?
Wait, but could? Wait, no. Although he did like wine. Sure did like wine, that guy.
And he did die at 33, the exact age Jesus died.
I'm going to be honest, he drank it like water.
Strangely, though, never saw him.
Had a beard.
Strangely, never saw him in a camelback.
Was
back.
always interested in carpentry. Never took it up.
Guys like a carpenter always thinking one step ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not ruling it out.
I'm definitely ruling it out. I am 100% ruling it out. Oh, also, another
Welcome to Sunday Punch Sports.
What was Sunday Punch
I'm
Sports?
Jesus.
Another thing that I thought we did not do particularly well of was actually follow our show notes, which are limited, but we have some, and you can tell now how many minutes into the cast are we that we've not looked at a show note even yet.
No, I have many notes, and they're about the Bulls, the Bears, they're about the Cubs, they're about everything, and we've talked about Brazil. I'm Jesus Christ. Sean has a buttery voice. Oh, I want to get back to that real quick before we get into sports. I did some reflection.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason your voice is better than mine
is
because you have to tell people they're going to die.
You want to land that softly. That's a soft landing topic. And whether by hook or by crook, I think most of us have trained to do it at least somewhat. So
How do they train you to do that?
We actually have dedicated sessions called Breaking Bad News sessions. And it'll take half a day, and you do it all through med school and all through residency. It's kind of wild.
Really?
Yeah.
How many times when do you complete that? Do you have to does an actor come in and...
Yeah, exactly. So we
really?
We did it multiple times a year in medical school, and then I think once a year in residency. So ballpark 11, 12 times we've done full days of Breaking Bad News, having counseling with patients. They bring in actors. You walk in with a script. They break out into tears. You got to bring them down.
The actors break out into tears.
Mm-hmm. Break out into tears. They stand
do they
up.
keep cameras there?
They stand up. They pace the room. They start yelling in the room.
But did they put cameras in there?
They put cameras in because they record us to give us feedback.
So the actors go all out because then they can put that on their reel, right?
It all makes sense. I hadn't thought about that, but you're absolutely right.
I mean, why else would they go all out?
Not on camera.
Unless you're insane.
Where's our camera? I'm not going to go all out. This would get me on film.
Oh, yeah. There's no camera there. What is this person? Is it Sean Penn, Daniel Day-Lewis coming in? They take acting so seriously that even when cameras aren't there, I'm Abraham Lincoln.
Nicolas Cage is
Nicolas Cage.
The actor you're Breaking Bad
Where's my
News to.
Ferrari?
You're not my wife.
Yeah, these are my kids. This is my wife. I have cancer.
For those of you who missed the first episode, definitely go back and watch it. And number two, we realized that I had missed quite possibly one of the best Christmas movies of all time, Family Man, starring Nicolas Cage.
Where's my Ferrari?
And Tia Leone.
Tia Leone. Wow.
Shout out. Yeah, absolutely.
She is Tia Leone. God, Tia, if you're listening. Tia, if you are listening, I still am attracted to you. I know that you're that movie came out 20 years ago. She's 57, maybe 60 now.
Still would?
I haven't look her up. Brian, bring her up. Brian, put a picture of Tia Leone from Family Man on the episode.
On the background. You like the?
She's really good. She's like the type of good looking where, like, you could definitely see yourself like meeting her in real life. You know what I'm saying?
I'll back that up.
Like, it's not like Megan Fox. You're like, I would never meet her ever. She'd be in the booth at the club talking to Otto Porter Jr.
Speaking of,
have you seen Otto Porter Jr.?
OPJ Bulls? Bulls
I
player.
love how you give people nicknames that are just literally the letters of their names.
Oh, you mean OPJ?
You're calling him that. You haven't seen him? Otto Porter?
I'm looking at Tia Leone.
Oh, yes.
She looks good.
Wow. She looks really good.
It's so weird when you Google actresses and only bikini photos show up.
Google Tia Leone
Google,
now.
your
Do
AI
yourself
has
a favor.
figured me out.
I don't care if you're at the gym, Chris, with a K, hallway.
Speaking of, you know who had antibodies to this whole COVID thing literally in February? Christopher Hall.
I know.
Isn't that wild?
I was his roommate. I know. I had it. I definitely had it too because we sat directly next to each other playing NBA 2K for 45 years. We had a 45-year team.
How many seasons?
I'm serious. We had 45 years. We went through an entire roster of actual players, then an entire roster that's 20 years of career, Sean, of fictional computer-generated players.
How many players did you start with that you ended with over there? 0.
I'm on the second evolution. I'm on the second family generation here. Then we went through another third generation of people, and then they retired. And then I looked at Chris and said, "This is enough. We've gone too far." Actually, I think the game said that. It wasn't enough for us. The game said,
stop.
"We don't have any more names we can possibly generate."
Please stop.
Please, for the love of God, stop. Dude, one of my favorite players was the third generation created player. I want to get his jersey. He was so good.
What was his name?
Larry Yates.
Larry Yates, created player.
Completely made up character. Oh man, I miss having roommates, dude. God, I'm talking to myself in darkness now. I had roommates and now I'm talking to myself in darkness.
Am I even here?
Who knows? We're in Inception. This is the Matrix. There's a pandemic. What's happening? But God, I miss roommates.
Speaking of what's happening in Chicago,
changes.
Go ahead. Go off, King.
I had roommates. I'm talking to myself in the darkness, okay? Change is bad, Sean. Just ask the climate.
Change is bad. So, big news in Chicago sports in the last 48 hours. Well, I guess mainly for the Cubs.
Kyle Schwarber. Yeah.
What's the hot take on that one? Schwarber, who else? Who else?
Well, they're going. I've heard rumors they're going to tender Chris Bryant. They're going to tender his contract. I don't know if you're familiar with that process, but that means actually. Like
break that down.
That means they have kind of like first rights. They say like, we want to sign you. Basically, tendering a contract. We want to sign you. Okay, and then if they have till a certain amount of time to agree to a certain number. If they don't, it goes to arbitration, and the arbitration guy decides what that person is worth.
Really?
Yeah, that's how baseball's weird, dude.
That is so strange.
Kyle Schwarber, they didn't tender his contract, which like essentially is like, all right, get out of here. Yeah. Although I see people on Twitter, you never know, he could come back. No, he's not coming back. It happens like 1% of the time.
Yeah, they're not bringing him back.
But it did. Hey, hats off. Schwarber was a great player.
Yep.
When they won the World Series, he
Clutch
came back from a crazy injury. Showed that true Chicago heart. And dude, you won a World Series. You're a fucking legend here.
Yeah,
he'll always be a legend here.
That jersey will be on bar walls for the rest of our lives.
He wasn't, after the World Series. Everyone expected him to be awesome. He was all right, but hey man, you're a legend. Hats off. Gonna miss Schwarby.
Does this
he was fat in that season too, in the World Series season, and then he trimmed up. He was looking all yoked, looking like Schwarzenegger and Predator. Shit.
Does this signal rebuilding?
Well,
too soon to know.
Yeah, I mean the
between coaching staff turnover and this.
I was just listening to Red Line Radio, and the one guy, I forget, the one guy on there is basically like, everybody's probably gone. It's looking like a rebuild.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, back to Cubs baseball.
Hey,
no winning.
I'll tell you
nostalgia.
I'll tell you who else needs a rebuild. Those boys down in Soldier Field. Holy shout.
I'll tell you what. Where's my phone? I went insane that night in the darkness.
Listen to episode 2, everybody.
But I then took a look at the sketch. Can you bring up the sketch?
Pulling it up.
Who do they play? Okay, list off their next. I think it's 5 games. Anyway, they in their next couple games here, it's no one. They play Detroit next.
You ready for it?
Detroit is next, right?
So the next game is going to be versus the Lions, noon, 12-6.
Okay. So that should be a win.
Should be a win.
The Lions just fired their coach. They're in shambles. That should be a win.
Yeah, they did.
If Matt Nagy does not beat the Lions, oh man, you got to tune into that episode.
You got to roll those.
Where's your visor, sir?
After the Lions, Texans.
Okay, dude. They just lost Will Fuller to
Yep.
PEDs.
Yep.
And somebody else. I don't think he was as important, but Will Fuller was their best wide receiver. They lost him. If you can't beat them, they don't have a great record. Their defense sucks. They just lost their number 1 wideout. You have to win that game. Then what's the Vikings next, right?
Vikings, Jaguars, then the Green Bay Packers.
That's gone.
That's gone.
That's gone.
That's gone.
If you watch the game, Aaron Rodgers was moonwalking down the field. There was no plan on Devon. I rewatched highlights. No plan on Devontae Adams. They had Danny Trevathan. Sean, you don't know who this is. They had Danny Trevathan on Devontae. I'm just listen to episode 2. Listen to episode 2.
Tune in.
When Danny Trevathan wasn't on him, they had no one on him. Wow, what a strategy. Where's your visor, sir?
Get it together, Daggy.
Gotta beat Lions. Gotta beat Houston.
Gotta beat Houston.
Minnesota should be a win, okay? They won the first game, not by a lot. You stop Dalvin Cook, you stop the Vikings. Load the box. Khalil, where are you?
So best case scenario, we're shooting for like an 8-8 season here. 500.
If they win, I don't have it in front of me. If they win all those games but Green Bay, what is that? No, that's
more. So
Yeah.
that gives them 6, 7, 8, 9 wins,
9 and
7
7.
losses.
9 and 7. That's what they should be. I was episode 1, I was don't throw in the towel. Episode 2, I was like, fuck it. I don't care who's the coaching carousel. Is there anyone good? Whatever. Let's blow it up.
So we're playing
But
for
now
pride. We're playing
I'm
for
back.
pride.
I looked at the sketch.
It's doable.
It's doable.
We can have a winning season.
Expanded playoff format. It's okay. We
Get him in.
can make it work. Mitch is out there. Mitch
Is he though?
He's really
Is he
bad.
though?
He is really. I mean, anyone with any football knowledge watching that game knows that he predetermines every single. Yeah, I'll have a beer too.
Coming right up.
Mitchell. By the way, when I was doing that whole thing, after I listened to it, I was like, oh shit, I forgot Sean's brother's name is Mitchell. I went on a whole diatribe about how the name Mitchell shouldn't be drafted. I don't care if the guy had a rocket installed into his shoulder. But now I know. Mitchell's a good name, dude. Never mind.
Strong name.
Strong name. Yeah, so with the schedule being what it is, it's okay. Brian, edit that out.
Mic check.
Brian, edit that
Mic
out.
check. Shoulder bump.
With the schedule being what it is, you have Matt Nagy, Ryan Pitt, this is it, okay?
No, this is it.
Mitch,
this is
it.
This is it. You have to. I mean,
This is it.
show up or get out, honestly. Show up or ship out.
So what are you going to do? You going to step up or what's the deal?
For those of you who don't know, Mitch Trubisky tunes in to every podcast we make. And we're coming to
That's
you
why I'm talking directly to him.
directly to Mitch Trubisky.
All right, I'm cracking this second beer.
Pop it. However, also got some interesting news in the NBA today. Not directly about the Bulls, but since they're our first game on, the 11th? For preseason?
Preseason, yeah.
Houston Rockets. Interesting trade.
Yeah, I haven't looked into that, but just face value, it was like, oh, you want our guy that can't shoot and takes the ball
Right.
full Carmelo mode?
Right.
You want our guy, but can we give you our guy? or can we take your
Your
guy?
does the exact
Can we
same
take
thing?
your guy who does the exact set? I mean, Russell Westbrook is washed. I love that guy too.
I liked him on his closing years with the Thunder, just explosive attack mode when he was getting
He was snarling.
triple doubles, like 40 some games in the season. It was
He
unbelievable.
was killing it, and he was snarling after he would dunk it. And he was a better shooter. I don't know what happened.
I'm curious what you think about this, Adam. So when you're the guy on the team that everything has to rest upon, you're a better player, right?
Well, yes.
Versus sharing the
When he was on
spot.
Oklahoma City, when he was doing averaging a triple double basically the entire time,
He was it.
there was nobody else in that team. I'm pretty sure. Chris, correct me if I'm wrong.
He'll find a way.
But he was the only one on the team. I mean, they barely made the playoffs, but it was just like
Through force of will, though, he willed them into the playoffs.
yeah. And
Just
I
by
loved
heart
Russell
and hustle.
Westbrook. I really did. Now I watch them when they're in the bubble. It was like he couldn't even shoot. He didn't want to shoot. He looked scared to shoot. That's you
No
can't
fire.
do that. You
No
gotta
fire.
go in. You can't be scared. That's my whole thing with like LeBron. I feel like all these players go into the game, and for some reason they're afraid of LeBron. The man wears a wig. Okay, how can you be afraid of a man who glues a wig to his head? I don't want to get into this. It's going to make me angry on a Thursday.
I'm not prompting you.
Oh man.
I'm not stirring the pot.
Okay.
We'll cover LeBron. We'll do a whole episode.
Well, let's
of
get
LeBron.
to the Bulls. A nice team that's not going to do anything. That I'll watch. They'll win 22 games like they had the last 2 years. I don't have to get my blood pressure up. I can just watch them. LeBron's going to sit out because they're starting immediately. He's going to sit out the first half of the season, and I can just be like, oh, good, mediocre basketball.
Predictable. You know what you're tuning in for. Know what you're going to get.
Young team. Oh, they're turning the ball over again. I mean, they would be the youngest team. I don't know this for sure. I'm just basing this off pure speculation. They'd be the youngest team in the league if they didn't have Thaddeus Young on the squad.
Speaking of youngest team, how about that little FSU pickup we got? Patrick
Williams. Well, I was listening to a podcast again, and apparently that was like Billy Donovan said, I want Patrick Williams.
Really?
Well, if Billy Ball wants it, then I'm on board.
God damn it, that I'll
You have Guider.
get that man a contract.
You have Guider.
Picking up a Florida Seminole. Not sure how I feel about that.
I don't feel any. I'm numb now, Sean. I've gone full numb.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
But I watched his press conference. He named Kobe White the point guard for the Bulls. Should have been the point guard all last year.
No kidding.
North Carolina boy.
Does he get to wear his pink shoes?
North Carolina, come on and raise up. Take your shirt off. Spin it around there. Remember that song?
I'm in North Carolina.
Come on, raise up. It was just North Carolina, and then I think like his studio was like, hey, you know what would make us more money? Say every city.
Say all the cities.
I want to hear every city. And he was like,
state.
I'm from North Carolina. I don't want to do that. And they're like, we own you. We're
Say
the
them all.
studio.
Say them all.
Get it? We're going to lock the door until all cities are said. And then he's like, Cleveland, come on, raise up. Take your shirt off. Spin it around there.
Colby cheese at point guard.
New York City. It was just like, oh God.
Okay.
Okay.
This will sell. I've totally
Here we
sold
go.
out. Here it is.
That was by the hardest rapper alive, Petey Pablo. When I want gangster rap, I go to Petey.
Petey Pablo, followed by Weird Al Yankovic.
And then you just like random states, North Dakota, raise up.
Lincoln,
I never
Nebraska.
take your
Raise
shirt
'em up.
off. Women? Were they? Let's watch that video.
Pull up
after
that
this.
video. Jamie.
I want to watch that music
Get
video.
that video up.
I need to watch that music
We'll
video.
start with Tia Leone, then we'll get over there. Done and done.
Oh man, if Tia Leone was dancing to Petey Pablo, Forget about it.
She's too classy. She wouldn't be caught dead in
No,
that video.
never. Not. She's a family woman.
Exactly.
Hello.
As proven by the movie Family Man.
Cello, it's a bass.
Back to the Bulls.
Oh, that's what we're talking about?
Back to the Bulls. Like we said.
I'm in Petey Pablo land, dude. Kobe White, yes. Kobe White. Starter. Everyone's super excited.
Mm-hmm.
It's sophomore year. Let's see what he's got.
Let the boy work.
The one thing about this pandemic, you can't go out to the club. Can't get in trouble. You can't get distracted.
Ooh, that's good points.
Maybe he just and it's good for young guys. Maybe it's good to just focus on basketball.
That's a good point.
He didn't strike me as a club guy anyway, but
not with that afro.
Not with that afro. Shit. Can't be getting any chicks in the club with that.
He's at the roller rink dancing with bell bottoms on.
Yeah. Strolling around in the roller rink with my cranberry.
You can't dance with the values by walk of a woman's
Kobe
hand.
White,
No
dude.
time to
Perfect
talk.
for that. No, he's not like Otto Porter. You got to bring that video up. Watch it.
All right, I'll get it up for you.
Otto Porter. Everyone is dumb enough to do, I get it. The basketball players don't think Corona is real, blah, blah, blah. They're out partying. But there's another level of stupid when you say, yeah, fuck it. Just start filming me.
Mm.
And I get it, dude. You're on the champagne campaign. You're feeling good. And you're just like, whatever. I don't care anymore. Just start filming me. Especially when you have $30 million owed to you. Dude, he went to Georgetown. Shouldn't he be smarter than this?
Did you see the Stephen A reaction on it?
No. Must watch TV.
We'll link to that later. Hilarious.
Yeah, pull it up. Go on Twitter. Type in Otto, O-T-T-O, Porter, and you'll see it. It's like produced.
Otter Portage Jr.?
Otto Porter Jr., Georgetown boy, getting paid $30 million for something he did in Washington 4 years ago. And it's like a produced video. So therefore, you're like kind of thinking to yourself, wait, not only did you film yourself, you thought it was a great idea to then get it produced.
Right, exactly. And then published.
Oh, look at it though, dude. Watch it.
I'll pull it up.
It's hilarious. No, your Twitter game is so slow. Brian, what? Is it the internet not working?
No, the internet's working great. I just don't know what to look for. I typed in Otto Portage Jr.
He's literally in. Okay, I'll explain it through your ear balls. Otto Porter is in some sort of house party, pouring champagne into females' mouths, but not just doing that, like putting his hand on their faces. So it's like, if I didn't have the coronavirus,
drink this.
Please, for the love of God, put it on my hand. I need it. So now he's on the trading block. Oh, that'll be a simple trade. Hey, do you want this buffoon who's owed $30 million? You want to take him?
And is probably carrying coronavirus.
Speaking of contracts, then you got Lauri Markkanen, who's pushing for a contract. He just came off a terrible year.
I know, it's ridiculous.
It's like I get, hey man, hey, you want to stay in Chicago? Fantastic, love it, wonderful,
happy to have you.
Except, I wish you had the confidence to be like, nah, I'm betting on myself this year because if I ball out, then I'm gonna get, Lauri might get a max contract. Mm-hmm. So he's pushing for it now. It's like, oh man, you're really not confident in yourself at all. Look, I have my own issues with Joe Flacco, but at least in that Super Bowl year, he didn't renegotiate his contract, and he said, I'm betting on myself. He went out, he won the Super Bowl, and then they had to pay him. That's what Lauri should do. He should not be pushing right now for more money.
It doesn't seem like he's earned it.
Anywho, I think Wendell Carter Jr. is going to have, enough. One more thing on the Bulls, and we can move on. I think Wendell Carter Jr. is going to have a fantastic season, and let me tell you why. Because Billy Ball, is going to have major pick and rolls. It's going to leave Wendell wide open. He's going to get some easy buckets. He's going to have a nice season. We're finally going to get Wendell. He's not going to get injured. Please, God, don't let him get injured. and he's going to have a good season. It's going to be Billy Ball, just like it was in our UF days, Sean.
Thank God.
Oh, man.
Good times.
Good times.
Let's unpack that for a second.
I was just thinking about the other day of, I was just floating down Ginny Springs. I'm closing my eyes right now because I'm picturing it.
You're in the zone.
I was floating down Ginny Springs with Travis. I forget what girl he was with. I think this was senior year, so there might be some weird timelines there. So, Erica, if you're listening, just move on, okay? Get off the podcast. Okay, so Travis was with some sort. It was Erica.
Let's call her Erica.
Just say, okay, Erica went on Ginny Springs with Travis. Was she going to track down the timeline? She has no idea. Anyways, we were on Ginny Springs. Erica, Travis. Definitely happened. I was with Brittany Banta, who was a Dazzler, and she was in my tube.
For those of you who don't know, the University of Florida Dazzlers is quite possibly the most elite dance team, not only in the SEC, but in the NCAA in general. They appear basketball games, volleyball games, gymnastics, football. These girls are everywhere, and they are working. They are working those bodies, working those pom-poms, working my eyeballs. They are a talented bunch. Carry on.
Well, when I was looking at UF, I wanted to go to UF. Let me backtrack. I'm going to get to the floating in the tube. Let me backtrack. Before I went to UF, I went to a basketball game, and I remember seeing the Dazzlers dance. And I thought to myself, even as a young child, I said, if I can get with one of those girls, I can die.
At 33.
Like Jesus Christ. And so now, fast forward. I'm there. I've achieved the dream. I'm in the tube in Ginny Springs. Brittany Banta's in my tube. And we're just enjoying a nice sunny day in Gainesville, Florida, floating down Ginny Springs, having a great time. And Sean, I remember thinking to myself, even then, I was very self-aware always. I remember thinking, it's not going to get better than this.
Wow.
And it never did.
You were that aware. And that correct.
I got out of the water and it was downhill from there, Sean. I now have to I'm in my office, just still picturing me and Brittany Banta in a tube, floating. That's why, dude, when we went back there for the Florida Gators game.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, yes.
The memories.
Remember when we were debating, we were like, could we move back here?
Okay, so we were sitting out there at Swamp Restaurant the night we got in, just putting down a bucket of beers for what, $6?
Who knows?
Who knows?
It was somewhere around there. It might have been less.
Somewhere around $6. Just thinking, no, real estate down here is not too expensive. Adam at one point was even debating, for those of you who don't know, Adam's in advertising, Adam.
Yep.
And Adam was thinking, the neuroscience department here could really use some help with their advertising.
Well, they had it on LinkedIn. They were like, the neuroscience department needs a marketing manager. And I was like, well, I know marketing. I know barely anything about neuroscience, but I could make it work. My brother's a neurosurgeon. I would have just gotten the download as soon as I faked my way through the interview. I would have been like, hey, they hired me. You need to teach me all of this,
right.
But tonight.
But now.
Yeah, but right now.
Give me the minutes.
Dude, after a full, 4 days there, I remember us still being like, I think I could live here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I think we still could.
I don't know. Would it be too much?
We could.
After 4 months, would we be like, never mind. I miss big city life. Although during a pandemic, who gives a flying frick?
I think if you're down there football season, you're thinking to yourself, I'm never leaving. I think, especially
this season.
I think you hit that stretch summer semester and you start thinking, it'd be nice to be drinking on the Chicago waterfront right now. But then football season rolls around, you're like,
we'll be able to do that again,
hey,
Sean.
Man, why am I not going down to Midtown Social here every day for the football games? Midtown Social.
If I never aged,
has sponsored this podcast.
Yeah, Midtown Social. Go there. Fly there. If I never aged, I would definitely live there.
Why would you live anywhere else?
Because I just think my age is now like showing, and people would be like, "What are you what are you doing here?
You a TA?
What are you doing here, Stuart?
Get out."
You take the 10, get dropped out on Mulholland, and get out of here.
Where you belong.
Where you belong. But dude, I think it would, I think that, like, because the people would ask, they'd be like, oh, although if I was marketing manager of the neuroscience department at UF, I mean, that's an easy answer.
Easy answer.
But not an easy answer is when I just go there and I'm like, I work at Excess.
Easier answer. Just tell me you're a medical resident.
I work at Dragonfly Sushi.
Oh, me? I deliver the bento boxes.
You need free bento?
I make sure you have enough ginger.
Yes. So I don't know. I don't know if I could do it, but I definitely want to get down there again. And you want to do a little Gator preview?
I think we should.
Tennessee
this Saturday. Tennessee Volunteers.
God, that rivalry is not where it once was. God, how would you like to be a I've hated Tennessee ever since. Dude, some girl in my high school went to Tennessee. She came back. She suddenly had a Southern accent.
Even though she went north.
I don't know what she was doing. She came back. She's like, oh, nice to see y'all again. I'm like, what? You're from Boca.
You have got to be kidding.
Boca Raton.
Boca Raton. So just
Boca Raton.
What is your guess on the line for this game?
Oh, the Florida Gators Tennessee line?
Yeah.
Minus 17, us.
17.
Yeah.
17.
Come on, dude. I think that's easy.
That's generous for the Volunteers.
I think we only got that because we struggled last weekend, but not struggled, just didn't cover.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Dude, Tennessee is in major trouble. When you're a team that can't score that much, interesting stat, Kyle Trask has thrown more yardage and touchdowns just this season than the Tennessee quarterback has in his entire career.
Oh my God.
So when you need to score to beat the team, right?
Not
you kind of have to control the clock and play some tough defense. Tennessee just dismissed their starting stud linebacker, because he got caught with guns and drugs.
Oh no.
And guns and drugs, guns and drugs, yeah.
You know that moment in what's that movie with the girl Katniss?
Oh, you're thinking of Dude, Where's My Car?
where there's tributes and they all kind of die one at a time.
Oh, Hunger Games.
Hunger Games, that's it. Where like there's that,
I like to call it the Hunger Games.
there's that boom, boom as the tributes die.
Yeah.
Let's give a thump for that guy.
What was his name? I have it written down in my notes that I have yet to consult.
Pull up the show notes.
What was his name?
Dismissed immediately.
Kavon Bennett. Guns and drugs.
Had
guns and drugs.
Had it all going for him. Had to buy illegal guns and drugs. Oh,
they get. Speaking of guns and drugs,
hit me.
Stay around for the end of the episode because I DM'd a local Chicago rapper. His name is Don Guetta. Don, you can find him on Instagram. Don_Guetta. Guetta like David Guetta. I don't know if there's any relation.
They look similar.
A little bit. You never know.
Also on YouTube.
Baby mama drama.
Also on YouTube.
And may I say, the YouTube video is fantastic and has a guns and drugs. It's called Shit Talking.
That shit slaps.
By Don Guetta. We're going to play it out in the outro. I DM'd him on Instagram. I said, hey there. Hi, I'm a local podcaster. May I play? I like rap music. May I play your song? And he said, hell yeah. So I'm taking that as artistic license. I'm going to use it. Don Guetta on Instagram. Don Guetta, Shit Talking on YouTube. Great song. And it will be played in the outro.
Give that guy some views.
Give that guy some views. We got to get, speaking of guns and drugs, we need Don Guetta on this podcast.
Let's get that guy a mic.
Let's get him in your apartment.
You know how much we could learn from Don Guetta in my apartment?
Oh, a bountiful amount of information.
Here's the situation. I bet he Don Guetta doesn't come alone. He's going to roll with the squad.
No. If you watch his video, he never rolls alone.
He's going to roll with the squad.
I can't wait.
And there will be guns and drugs.
Guns and drugs, guns and drugs. Plus, I need to ask him because I was looking into. I want to get a gun.
So in Illinois,
and I want his recommendation, but I will also take your recommendation
on the piece. You got it. In Illinois, you got to have, and I know you know this, but for our viewers, for our listeners, you got to have that FOID card. So let's do it all legally here, boys and girls. Get that FOID card first. Then once you have it, and maybe once the pandemic's over, get down to your local Gunther's Guns.
Gunther.
And take one of those concealed courses so that wherever you are, your piece can be too.
How long?
Just in case.
How long of a process is the certification for the conceal?
FOID card surprisingly easy. Little background check. I think there's a small fee. They verify you're an Illinois resident, your address, etc. I think within a couple weeks you got that guy, and then you basically have to sign up for. I think it's a weekend. It used to be a long weekend or 2 sequential weekends to get the concealed carry.
I mean, I should get a gun. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Seriously, what could go wrong? They say you're more like, never mind. I'm getting a gun. I'm not going to talk myself out of it. I like to hold it. I think it's cool. It's not very useful.
It's your Second Amendment right, though.
Sure is.
Sure
and I'm going
is.
to get one. What? Any recommendations for kind? Or did you already say that?
Glock 43-9.
Why is that?
Subcompact. Light, easy to carry, accurate. You don't have the safety's built into the trigger. Mechanically, it's beautiful. It's simple to clean, easy design. I like it a lot.
Fantastic.
I like it a lot.
All right. Well, we'll consult after this. So, maybe we don't focus on guns in episode 3 as much, but maybe we can do a little bit of one more couple of things for the Bulls.
You better believe it.
I don't know if you have any other subjects you want to talk about, but do a couple more things on the Bulls, maybe sprinkle in wherever it's gonna go from there, and then we can kind of end this out. I don't know what minute mark are we here? Who knows? Time doesn't exist
I'm not
anymore.
tracking it. We're in a pandemic. It's been all I know is it's day 270 since I sat in a bar and had a drink.
Speaking of day 270, here's a fun fact for the Bulls.
Play it.
There'll be 300 days since they've last played basketball together.
Oh my God.
Because they weren't in the bubble.
300 days.
300 days since the Bulls were playing basketball with you. That's good for a young team.
Gonna be a hell of a season.
That's good for a young team. Especially a 19-year-old Patrick Williams. Hey, get out there. You were just playing with FSU. Now you're in the NBA.
I didn't realize it at first when I first heard his name come up that he was a one and done. He was a one and done.
He's 19.
Freshman and he's out. Kind of a bold move. His stats were, were they really one and done level stats? I think he ranked 4th in points, 4th in rebounds, maybe 1 in blocks because of his position. But
They think he can guard. He can't. He's a power forward. They think he can be a small forward. And we'll see. Billy thinks so.
6'8", 225.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
We'll see.
They'll add 10 or 15
He's
to
19.
him.
I'm giving him a tough time. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm giving him a tough time because he's an FSU grad. As if he judged it like us. Like as if he was like, UF or FSU? I don't know. Academics.
He majored in sports management. Well, let's be clear, he got his prereqs done for sports management. How much could you do in a year?
Oh, man. I wish you just said marine biology. He's a marine biologist, too.
He majored in machine learning. That'd be amazing. He basically took 1 year of algebra.
By Microsoft. He's going to be on those Microsoft commercials real quick, dude.
Forbes 30 under 30.
Except it'll
Patrick
be
Williams.
after he's a Bull and doing something amazing on another team.
Power to him.
He'd be like, this play had a 1% chance of working, and it never worked with the Chicago Bulls. But now that I'm a wizard...
Just dunking on fools.
Yeah. Hey, man, he's super athletic. I think they fell in love with that.
He's got lymph.
I don't know, man. Hopefully he can... He can't shoot. I've been watching all of his... even the highlights. It's just his release is slow. can't shoot consistently.
That's what I'm most worried
giving him a
about.
tough time. He's 19. He's super athletic. He could get better.
I'm worried about the fast twitch muscles, though. I don't see a lot of explosiveness.
Well, dude, we got Zach LaVine, okay?
If that's not explosive,
That's not explosive. I don't know what
I don't know
is.
what you're looking for.
25 years old.
You think he's peaked?
We'd covered this in episode 1. It's just like, you're going to get what you're going to get, okay? Guys, like, you're not going to evolve suddenly into making smart decisions when you've consistently made dumb decisions your entire career. There's a guy, I forget what the name is on YouTube. He breaks it down. It's like a long video and very monotonous, but he literally goes through every Zach LaVine play and he just is like, this is what he should have done. Instead, he did this. Why did he do that? Who knows? He's like taking fadeaways. He's just making bad basketball decisions. Look, this is kind of a do or die year for everyone here. Mm-hmm. I mean, Laurie is not signed. Who knows? He could be gone. Zach, he could be gone, traded. Otto, he's gone.
After this.
Yeah, you can't be pouring champagne on chicks and have your thumb halfway down their mouth and expect to be on the Bulls.
Can I get
Especially when you're getting paid $30 million,
Can
dude.
I get a tip drill?
Can I get a tip drill? Oh, man, what an idiot. But, I mean, Kobe White, they might just build around him. So we'll see this year. I mean, if they win 22 games again, goodbye, Zach LaVine. Maybe they build around Laurie and Kobe. Who knows? But goodbye, basically. Well, they still have Wendell Carter, too. So I don't know. I think they've got a good core. We'll see, though. I mean, everybody thinks they have a good core when you draft these players. You think they're like, oh, he'll evolve, and then they never evolve. Mm-mm. The NBA is one of those leagues where it's like only like 3% of people are actually good. Otherwise, you're just a role player.
It is kind of amazing that you get these people and they get shopped around at different teams. But, I mean, for the most part, like, you kind of knew what Jimmy Buckets was going to be. Amazing player. About 3 or 4 years ago. And he's just kind of consistently done it at all the teams he's been shopped around to, which I think has actually been a shame. I'm really glad he's with the Heat. Great leader for those young guys on that team, too. I'm really excited to see what they do. But then you get these other guys who kind of get shopped around. Don't even get me started on that buffoon from the 76ers. God, what a disaster.
Well, dude, why would you keep Jimmy Buckets when you can replace him with a veteran presence like Thaddeus Young?
Right. So you see the
Let's
logic.
give him $11 million.
So you see the
He's
logic.
33 and never averaged more than 10.
Exactly. He's the guy for us.
That average is probably wrong, but come on, Thaddeus Young, watch the man. He's not worth $11 million. I'd rather let's bring Joakim back. Let's get Joakim back. He's probably on a waterfall somewhere in Timbuktu right now.
Thaddeus averaged 13 points.
13 points
Not
per
far
game.
off. That's only one more bucket. You know who? I hate to get
Totally worth. Let's give him $1 million per point.
God, that's absurd. I hate to get on the rumor train here, but there's a lot of people getting really optimistic for God knows what reason about getting Giannis to Chicago.
Never, ever going to happen.
That guy is a creature of habit. Break it down.
Yeah, we're going to get the guy who still lives in an apartment in Milwaukee, still dating the same girl that he dated from high school. I think his mom lives down the street or with him. Yeah, we're going to get that guy. We're going to woo him with all of our money.
He's waiting to come to Chicago. Just waiting in the wings.
He can't wait to come to Chicago and play with Thaddeus Young. What does Chicago have to offer you? Seriously. You're Giannis. This is okay.
It's not what he's looking for. He's not what he's looking for.
Let's end on this. These players should stay with the teams. Your legacy is, I know it's a business, but God, your legacy is way better if you just stay with one team.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, what are you? You're Russell Westbrook. You're like, oh, you're a wizard. Sweet,
great.
Like, you wanted to get out of OKC. Like, dude, no. Dwight Howard could have stayed in Orlando. Mm-hmm. Now, what is Dwight doing other than kissing?
Battlefield Earth creature.
Yeah, other than having a Battlefield Earth haircut and kissing young Taiwanese men.
Facts, look it up.
Could have been in Orlando and been a legend. Had to go to LA. You're not made for LA.
Not.
And now, and then he bounces away around to Atlanta, Houston. I think he just signed with the 76ers.
Well, the thing that bothered me in the bubble is he was almost just like on the court to like get fired up and push other guys around and almost get into fights and then get pulled back to the bench. Like that was like his role, just like the team spark plug.
He used to be like, give the ball to Dwight. Let's run the entire offense through him.
Right.
Now it's like he's the goon.
He's the jester of the team.
Yeah, put the goon in. The hockey goon. He's got to go rile things up. Could there be a worse like goon too? Hey, let's get the guy who looks like he just got off the battlefield Earthship and who likes kissing Taiwanese children. Let's get that guy the tough guy role.
Get that guy the basketball. Please.
Look it up.
Please.
He likes Taiwanese children. We have the documents, Joe.
We got him here. I've taken extensive notes.
You want the whole enchilada? I'll give it to you, Joe.
I'll give it to you.
I'll give it to you.
Your viewers need to hear this.
Oh, man. Well, okay. I think, dude, we've gone quite a while here. You want to, what do we want to go out on?
I'd like to kind of start setting a precedent of, at some point, covering a controversial topic.
Fantastic. Let's do it.
I've got a couple in mind. I want to hear if you got any.
I'm ready.
All right. I'll punt it. Here we go. So just this week, NASDAQ announced that it's going to review all the companies within its portfolio.
Oh, of course.
And
I already know where this is going.
Start making decisions about whether or not to retain these very large, very successful companies who, by the way, are probably handling a lot of the money in your pension 401k.
Fantastic.
With their success. And start, I guess, mandating. It's a proposal to mandate, so it's only a proposal right now, that they have a certain amount of individuals of minority status or transgender or female or black or minority, whatever it happens to be, on their boards. So we're selecting, there's a lot of ways we can take this, but are we selecting by demographics? Are we selecting by talent? Like what's the motivation here? I don't really understand.
I think the motivation is
this virtue?
I think the motivation is rooted in we want to do the right thing. I think the motivation is we want to be good people.
I agree with that.
Now, I just think it's like there should be more of training of upper people in hiring positions to be like, hey, look for this or look for that. Or you may be biased and you don't know that.
This is how we grow talent in people.
So I've been reading this book, Caste. It's about the Indian caste system and how it relates to America and African Americans. And like she relates it, the Indian caste system to how African Americans are treated in America. And one of the good points she makes is, you may have bias, you don't know about it, right? That's how there should be education of, okay, you may have bias and you should learn about that so that you can see opportunity when it presents itself. It shouldn't be the opposite way of you must do this, because then you're narrowing the talent pool all the way down to like a very slim percentage. Mm-hmm. And so now you have to, all right, we have to hire. And then you have resentment. I bet you people hiring then have resentment. And then now you really don't have a successful situation. And so now we have to hire Billy. I mean Becky. I mean Barry.
That's what I'm worried about too. Is you're going to end up
Bonnie.
You're going to end up with these individuals.
It's 2020. I have 9 names.
you're going to end up with these individuals who are hired not for the content, the quality, the merit of their work, but because they may have had a certain demographic box that was checked or that they check for a company. And I worry that it's going to be just self-serving. And I think to your point, we got to start with a more bottom-up, a more internal approach. How do we find people that are either suffering from imposter syndrome and let them know that they don't have to do that and they can be talented and they can grow? Or how do we find people who are coming from racially, ethnically, sexually gender diverse backgrounds and then say, listen, like you can be a huge success at this company. Here's how, and here's how I want to help you grow. This top-down mandate just makes it sound like, 'cause if it mattered to you, why weren't you doing it all the way along?
Yeah. You're suddenly going to start actually doing this, like, in
You've cared
a
the whole
compassionate
time,
way.
clearly.
You're suddenly going to start doing that at the top. I completely agree. There should be programs as soon as you get into whatever the company is now, whatever
Equity, diversity,
Yeah.
inclusion, it's all good.
As soon as you start at the company, there should be a program that leads to a path. You do this, and this, then you get into the little talent pool that gets considered for the top position. But you got to do all these things. You got to pass all of these little check marks, right?
It's exactly. And it's interesting to me that we often accuse so many of these companies of being greedy and being selfish and wanting to take money and make money. You think if there wasn't, and this is totally random, a transgender minority individual who identified as a space alien was the most talented person in that company and made that company money and was successful, you think that these companies we accuse of being greedy, wanting to hit quarterly numbers, wanting to grow, wanting to have the biggest portfolio in their business, wouldn't have put that person in a position of leadership from the very, very get-go? Like, we can't use this concept of greed as a bad thing only if it's going to allow for the most talented, successful people to be promoted upwards. That's what it should be. But we shouldn't change who's at the successful level, who's worked hard to get there, just to check a box.
Well, I completely agree with that. I mean, dude, if you're in a business,
greed is
you
good.
want to make the most money possible.
Welcome
if
to
an
capitalism.
alien gets me there, then an alien gets me there.
Exactly.
I would have an alien start day one for the Chicago Bulls if he could shoot a three-pointer like Steph Curry.
Well, it's interesting. And even you saw, I mean, this is a bit of a tangent, but
Put Billy Bonnie at point guard, number one spot. She can shoot the ball like he can shoot the ball like Steph Curry. I could give a fuck what you identify as. Oh, look, Zur is out there. God, Zur is a baller.
don't let Buzz Lightyear see. No, but I mean, like, even this even extends to, I think, Joe Biden introducing his media and communications team this past week.
I didn't see that.
I can't imagine being on a stage where somebody looks at me and says, look, this is my new media and communications team. Look, I have this white male. Isn't that nice? Look, I have another white male. Isn't that nice? Oh, look, and here we have another white male. Aren't you glad at the talent I've pulled together here to communicate? I mean, I acknowledge that I am in a position of privilege in this country as a white male, and I think that deserves both acknowledgement and extended awareness about what that has granted me and what the challenges are people who might not share that status. But to be paraded about on a stage because of those two characteristics about myself, to pump up somebody else, the ego, it's just terrible.
Completely agree. You know what we need? We need a Sunday Punch politics episode, dude.
Spinoff?
A Sunday Punch
Spinoff?
diversity episode.
I love that.
Get
Don
do a
Guetta on.
spinoff. We want get Don Guetta on.
I love this.
Shit talking. We'll call it shit Sunday Punch shit talking. No, I mean, yeah. I mean, the best part about the format is we could do Sunday Punch whatever, dude.
Sunday Punch.
It's always going to revolve back to sports for me. Or Leone, of course. But yeah, I would love to get, we're right on the verge of going into a place where I think we would go like another full hour.
Yeah, we
so
should
I want to commit to that. But yeah, I like this ending though. We should end everyone like this.
Just to give people something
I
to
think
think
that
about.
was a good conclusion too.
I like it. I'm good
You
pinning it there.
had your conclusion. I would just fuck it up with my Haley Joel Osment voice.
Let's pause it there. Adam, before we start kind of getting towards our outro, you want to give a quick plug for maybe what is Sunday Punch, where the blog is, where people can find material?
Yes, I do. Okay, so Sunday Punch, if you're more of a listener, okay. You anywhere there's a podcast, you can listen. Apple Music, Spotify. Hell, type my name into Pandora. They haven't gathered enough people that sound like me, but maybe they'll play it. You type in Sunday Punch Podcast, it's gonna play episode 1 through 3. I think. I don't know. I've never tested it, but we're on Pandora. Podcast Addict. Now, if you like the visuals, once a week when Sean's in town, every Saturday, we will be filming each of these episodes. And those will be on YouTube. Now, I will post the audio ones on YouTube as well with just kind of a still image of Sunday Punch. But be on the lookout. Check it out every week on YouTube just to see if there's the video. Sean is a traveler, so sometimes there'll be a week in between here or there. Sometimes he's just not feeling me. How could you not feel me?
Bit of a rambler.
Yeah. Sometimes he's not feeling me to come over for 3 hours and ramble. How dare he? So sometimes it'll go, bi-weekly, but me, the one,
us,
I will be doing weekly, of course, Bears reactions when the Bulls start. I'll be doing Bulls reactions, and then, of course, with baseball as well. I'm a Cubs guy, not going to do the White Sox. Sorry. Tune into Don Guetta's shit-talking podcast for the White Sox. I'm sure he loves the White Sox. But I think that's it. We're on Instagram. I'm going to be putting videos on Instagram live, not live, TV.
Very nice.
Follow us on Instagram. I need to get the trademark so that I can go after Sunday Punch and Sunday Punch Sports.
We'll lock it in.
But right now it's Sunday_Punch_sports.
Sorry about that, guys.
And you can find all of this content on SundayPunchSports.com. Secured that domain, Sean. Sorry, previous owner of Sunday Punch Sports, but I watched as I looked at the expiration date on the back end of Google. Yeah, I know how to do that. And I watched at 3 a.m. in my dark dank apartment. And while you were sleeping, I was up stealing your domain. What's up?
Get at me.
So Sunday Punch Sports, you can find all of this content. And also on Twitter, we're Sunday Punchers. You're never going to look at all of these things. Follow us on Spotify. That's all I care about.
Start there. And just remember, we're a family podcast.
Subscribe, too.
Get your kids tuned in.
Because then you'll get the alert. You'll
parents.
Just know when the rambles are flowing in.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
For fuck's sake.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. When's he fighting again? But that's for next episode.
That's for next episode. We'll talk about Conor McGregor in episode, it'll probably be 6 or 7 around that time. So look for that.
Cheers, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Happy holidays.
Thanks, Sean.
If you ain't suing CG, you ain't on shit. And that's just like that. Look. Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen. In the goddamn refrigerator.
Paving this shit, crank.
Granny see me running in and out. She say, what you doing? I just sold a P for 33. I think I'm Patrick Ewing. That ecstasy what's best for me. I pop it and be chewing. These bitches can't sit next to me unless you shooting the porn. I'll serve you what you need. Pull up on me, hit my horn. Got my junkie out there mowing. He on that and he be blowing. We got racks that we ain't showing. That's how tech it got me snoring. She said ex nigga a corn. I be jugging in the mornings. I ain't trapping off no chirp, but I got work like I fire niggas. I don't pop no perks, I get higher, nigga. I try you, nigga. He yelling out, he slam me. We might drag him through the front door. King trap a lot, I sold a 7 for a huncho. Freaky pop the yacht, but steady asking what a blunt go. Me and Diddy, man, the Splash Brothers, bitch, go get your puncho. Evo keep them Glockies, you would think he hit a gun stove. Nigga talking cocky, pop him, show his ass a gun show. I be sipping wacky, I can't go unless my gun go. Served at 6:30, she might double back for one more. Phone him on parole for all pipe cases. Purple jeans stuff with all white faces. Runs up in my blunts, I think the plug laced it. Doing 120 on the E-way, bitch, I love racing.
I'm caked up like it's my B-day, like every day 128. New baby Drake, no baby weight, you cannot eat this dick today. Woke up 7:50, brushed my teeth and made a Nick Bay. Don't want no 750, yeah, I like speed, so I just might jump straight. I pop blue 30s, these ain't fake, that shit you drank getting hit with K. New money, them blue hunters, me and Ben Frank kick it every day. Foreign steppers, these shoes on my feet, they cost your hard-earned pay. Met a plug from Cali, now I'm getting them fluent from the Bay. Free phone them doing day for day, don't smoke but pour 5ths and 8s. You trust her, I just fuck her, you make love, I skeet all on her face. Got niggas who did time for some kidnappings. Dirty man, I call plays, I make shit happen. I'm from the deuce, but throw a bees, I be big bapping. I got a sack like a D and have little folks blitz your block. Turn the lights on, just put put a switch up on my Glock. I like half-tech, but I'll settle for some walk. Remember them days we was trapping, posted up at Pops. Did more hits than a crash dummy, you know it's fuck the ops.
Paving this shit crank.